What is going on, Screen Watcher Nation? We are back here for another Christmas review, but before we hop into it, do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
Shh, they're about to start the movie.
All right, today on the docket, we have Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. Following the success and fame of the first Home Alone in 1990, they decided to make a sequel in 1992. They got Macaulay Culkin back to play Kevin. They got Joe Pesci back to play Harry Lime. Again, still didn't know he had a last name. Got Daniel Stern back to play Marv. Got Catherine O'Hara back to play the mom. Got John Hurd back to play Peter. Got all of the brothers and sisters back, Uncle Frank, everybody's back in this movie. I think that's one of the key things that made this movie a good transition from the first one to the second one. And then they added some really good talent as well. They added Tim Curry. He plays the concierge. You would know him from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, as well as the movie Clue. They added Brenda Fricker. She plays the pigeon lady. You would know her from My Left Foot and one of my personal favorites, Angels in the Outfield. They added Dana Ivey. She plays the desk clerk. You would know her from The Addams Family and 2 Weeks Notice. They added Rob Schneider, one of his earlier roles, as the bellman. You also find out later that his name is Cedric, even though in the actual credits he is just the bellman. But you would know him from Grown Ups, Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo, pretty much every Adam Sandler movie that's ever come out. So Rob Schneider's been pretty much everywhere. And then you have Eddie Bracken. He plays Mr. Duncan. You would know him from Hail the Conquering Hero and the original National Lampoon's Vacation. And there's also, now fun fact, a cameo by our president. That's right, Donald Trump is in the movie Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. And every time I say Lost in New York, it reminds me of the John Mulaney joke. How do you get lost in New York? It's a grid system. Obviously, the streets are numbered and you can find your way. But what it really means is the plot of the movie. You have Kevin, who again is at odds with his family, and it's Christmas time again. And they have another mad scramble to try to get to the airport on time for their flight. This time, instead of going to Paris, they are heading to Florida, my home state of Florida. And they are all rushing, trying to get there. Kevin is trying to replace the batteries in his walkie-talkie thing, or his Walkman, excuse me, because that is a very key point of the entire movie. But the Walkman, he was replacing the batteries. The family kept running down. He followed another guy that looked like his dad wearing the same jacket and went to another gate at the airport and ran into the ticket lady, and all of the tickets got jumbled up. So he ended up accidentally boarding a flight to New York City instead of going down to Florida with the rest of the family, and thus begins another hilarious and also kind of scary travel family vacation for the Mccallisters. In this movie, you have a lot more of Kevin running around the town, doing a lot of sightseeing. You have a lot of New York kind of being put on display a little bit. You see more of his tomfoolery using his Walkman, Talkman, where he records his voice and then slows it down in order to get a hotel room at the Plaza Hotel. Really cool things just that a creative kid could do now, and fools the staff into letting him have this room to himself for a while. The parents don't know where he ended up. They get to Florida, they realize Kevin's obviously not with him, and they freak out trying to figure out where he is. The whole time in New York, Kevin's running around the city and kind of enjoying himself, but he runs into some familiar foes. He runs into Harry and Marv, the bad guys from the first one. So he avoids them, goes into Central Park and stuff like that, and then he finds his aunt and uncle's house that is being renovated, and that is the new home that he defends to the death against Harry and Marv. So it's another one of those movies where people falling down and getting hurt is funny. It's always going to be funny. I don't know why it's funny to us. Probably because it's not happening to us. But watching people get hurt is funny. And if you can add that into the magic of Christmas time, that makes it even better. Honestly, I have a tough time ranking Home Alone versus Home Alone 2 on which one's my favorite. They both have really good sides to them. I would probably put Home Alone 1 on top of Home Alone 2, just because of a couple of things, and a couple of the things in Home Alone 2 are repeated from Home Alone 1, and obviously defending the house is obviously completely repeated, but it's still a really good movie. It's still family friendly. There's still not a whole lot of cursing or any gore or anything like that. Harry and Marv would have died many, many more times in this this movie than the first one. So he really ramps up the idea that he grew up to be the man behind all the Saw movies with this one, because he really ramped up his booby traps, and it is terrifying. I would not want to go up against Kevin McCallister in any situation. He's like Batman. You give him enough time and enough information, you're gonna go down. He doesn't have to have a superpower. He's just that creative and that ingenious on how to figure out a way to defend what he has. So that's pretty much my entire review of Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. I thought that the actors that they added were a great addition. I thought the movie overall had good pacing. It was entertaining. Again, almost very, very close 1 and 1A on who I would have as my favorite Home Alone movie. Obviously, there are other ones. I'm not even going to review Home Alone 3, and I think they came out with a Home Alone 4. That's garbage. Not even gonna show those. Obviously you know how I feel about those. But Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2 are good movies no matter what time of year you're watching them, but especially at Christmas you get that extra kind of bump of nostalgia. You get, again, the family ties, you get the heartwarming moments, everything kind of blends together well. So that's my review. Have you seen Home Alone 2, Lost in New York? It came out in 1992. You've had plenty of time, but if you haven't, please see it. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. If you have seen it, let me know if you agree with me or disagree with me in the comments down below. Other than that, hopefully your popcorn is always fresh. Hopefully you enjoy your day at the cinema, whether you are out at your local theater or you are at home enjoying a movie. I am the Screen Watcher, and I will talk to you all next time.